Hey everybody, welcome back to FoodSaver Fanatic. I wanted to make a video today. I didn't have time to change clothes and do my hair and all that stuff because I was watching a program this morning and they were talking about tips and tricks for making your dollar go further and your meals go further when you make them. But the FoodSaver was not mentioned. And I thought for sure, I was watching the program and I'm like, I'm sure they're going to mention the FoodSaver. But they didn't. So as you can see, I have tons of stuff here. Now, I've probably already covered a lot of this, so bear with me if you're already a subscriber and you've seen the videos. Oh, I forgot to get my halibut, just for the halibut. I think I say that every time. It gets old, I'm sure. So let's just jump right in, because you don't want to sit here and listen to me babble, even though I do. But I have a wet towel because it gets all frosty. Since I live in Texas, the humidity makes everything like thaw out and melt and get sweaty really quick. So you have a chunk of halibut. Look at that. That is like a fat piece of fish right there. Yeah? And then it's really good, really yummy. So it FoodSavers very nicely, and it doesn't get like, obviously you don't want to have your fish in your freezer for like a year, but it still is going to be really good after 4 months, which you couldn't do if you just had it in Tupperware or something. So yeah, I probably need a spot to start putting everything. I'll just move it over here. Just put that right there. Okay. And a lot of this is going to be leftover, it looks like. A leftover edition, so it's always good. Chicken sandwiches. So I use panko breadcrumbs on chicken breast, and then I put them in the air fryer. Gotta go point because it's right there. And it makes quite a few, because you pound out the chicken breast, you flatten it out a little bit, and then so you have more chicken than you expected, so that also stretches your dollar. These are already cooked, so you just label, chicken sandwich on there, and now you just thaw these out and put them back in the air fryer or the toaster oven or the regular oven or the microwave. I don't do microwave because I want it crispy, but you just saved 2 of your chicken breasts. Plus, when you pound it out, 2 chicken breasts fed my family of 4, and I believe my husband and my daughter both had 2 sandwiches. And there were 2 left over. So that would be 6 sandwiches were eaten at dinner. There's 2 left over out of 2 chicken breasts. Talk about stretching your dollar. Yeah. Thank you, FoodSaver. Thank you, Tilia. So anyway, there you go. Got those left over. I made stuffed shells for my nephew for his birthday. And my sister couldn't find the jumbo shells on the shelf anywhere. I didn't mark it because obviously they're stuffed shells, so that's always a good thing. But when you make these, you can boil the whole box of shells and then put whatever ingredients you want inside. I do ricotta, mozzarella, spinach, 1 egg, just to kind of be a binding agent, and then Italian seasoning. I do a little crushed red pepper because my son likes them spicy. My daughter too. And then, you just put them, when you thaw them out, you put them in a dish with some marinara sauce or however you want to do it. You can also boil these to thaw them out if you don't want to use any sauce in a pot. Just don't open the bag. So, yay. And so that's always good, because then you'll have stuffed shells forever. And I believe, let's see, I spent 2, 6, 3, 5, 6, 7. So for roughly around $10, you will get 3 of these. So you might get 3 meals for a family of 4. Because they're very filling and they're very rich. I think it's the ricotta and the mozzarella that makes them really rich. This is a really fun one, and I know I have not done a piece on this one. Okay, I don't know if you can see them. I know everything gets frosty, so I try to wipe it all off. Can you see the carrots? Cooked carrots? Yeah. So I make my own chicken broth. And I use, obviously, the carcass from the roasted chicken that I roasted in the oven. But I clean it off, and I use the roasted chicken carcass with all the herbs that are still inside. I grow my own herbs. That's another way to save money. I did see that on the segment this morning, but I do that. And then you just use garlic, onion, carrots, and celery in a pot with water, and you just simmer for like 2 or 3 hours, and you have a chicken broth. Of course, I let it cool, and then I get all the fat off the top. But I save the carrots because the chicken carcass was already cooked when I put it in there. There's no risk of any type of bacteria or anything. But I'm not about to throw out perfectly good carrots, and these are already flavored. So there's a whole bag full of already cooked carrots from making my chicken broth. Right? Come on now, it's not rocket science. So that's another amazing thing. You're not throwing out your vegetables. I did throw out the celery because it gets like really gross. But you could probably keep it for chicken pot pies, which might just bring me to my next. I'll just do this one since I just mentioned it. This is a little glass Pyrex dish. Oh, well, you can't hear it. I think I had this in another video. But I just made homemade crust. I think a lot of people learned how to make stuff during the pandemic, crust and bread and all that. So, but anyways, this is just basic pie crust. It's not sweet or anything. And so I put the crust on the bottom, put my filling, which was left over from a roasted chicken. Here it is. Turkey pot. Well, I wrote turkey on there, but I meant chicken because it was from a chicken. But I always have leftover turkey, and I make turkey pot pies as well. But this is actually chicken, so we won't tell anybody. But this one, let's see. I put mushrooms, broccoli, carrots, chicken, and then you use cornstarch and flour, and everything with the chicken juice to make the broth. But I just put it in here, and then I topped it obviously with the pie crust. But I had a lot left over, so I'm going to put it in a FoodSaver bag, and now I've got chicken pot pie mix for the next time I make chicken pie. There's only one left over though because I think I made more than enough, and so we just had one left over. So there's a chicken pot pie just hanging out, but you can freeze a whole bunch of them on a budget. It's awesome. So yeah, and then just to thaw stuff out, you just put it in a sink with hot water, or you can boil it in hot water. Either way, just never cut it open. So all these things that you're seeing, I'm gonna probably say this 2 more times. Say it with me, all my subscribers. What do you do before you FoodSaver it? Let's all say it together. Freeze it first. Yes, thank you. That's all you have to do. Freeze it first, because otherwise it's going to suck right out. So, and especially your meat. You want to keep all the juice in your meat, so freeze the meat first. And then you can scrape off all the little frozen stuff on it that gets on it when it's freezing. And then you won't have additional moisture in the bag when you thaw it out. So everybody knows that. If you're a subscriber, you know that. Freeze it first, except for cheese. It's the only one thing. Oh, I should have made that a quiz. What's the one thing you don't have to freeze first before you FoodSaver it? Cheese. Okay. Chili. Everybody loves chili. Let's see, smart chili. Everybody loves chili. And I make a whole big pot of it because it's not very expensive to make. It might be a little bit more expensive if you're using ground beef, because ground beef has gone up a little, as we all know. But I will make a big Dutch oven just full of chili, and then we'll eat whatever, and then I FoodSaver the rest into little things. But I freeze it first. Yeah, I guess this is a leftover edition. It's looking like, and this is really cold on my hands. I need to be wearing gloves almost. Chicken enchiladas. Oh, this is funny. Chicken enchiladas. Can you see that? Ooh, what do you have to do when you make chicken enchiladas? You have to. Oh, my sister got me this. She knows that I just absolutely love Schitt's Creek. I hope I can say that. I don't know. I don't want this to not be on YouTube because this is going to be a really good one. Anyway, my chicken enchiladas. These were left over, and they were in a Tupperware in the fridge. So I scooped them out. I put them in here with the extra cheese mixture. I just put that on the top. Froze them first, and then now there's, my husband can come home from work and have chicken enchiladas for dinner. I made lasagna a few weeks ago. Cooked pasta sheets. So you know how you get the box of lasagna sheets, and you boil them, and then you layer, put the stuff, layer, put the stuff on, layer. Well, there's always leftover pasta, even though I make the 9-inch casserole size. There's always leftover pasta. What are you gonna do with it? I want to know. FoodSaver it. Yeah, because you could thaw it out. Pasta food savers and freezes really well. So now I have pasta for my next lasagna dish. I don't even have to boil it. Yes. We're good. You gotta like that. Okay. So I'm actually gonna do something real quick before they thaw out. So they're already starting to thaw out. When you go to a hotel and you get these complimentary blueberry muffins, my sister and I were just in Arizona for my dad's 80th birthday. And I got these muffins thinking I was going to eat them every morning, and then I ended up not eating them. So I'm going to go ahead and FoodSaver them into a bag. They were frozen, so I hope they don't get smashed down. I'm going to move all this stuff. I got tons of stuff. They were frozen, so they would have FoodSavered. So I'm going to make my bag a little bit longer than I normally would, because I'm not going to eat them all at once unless maybe my son or my daughter has company over and they want muffins. Then I'll eat them all at once, but I'm just, you can't see that. You see, that's not good. You can't see what I'm doing. I don't know. Sorry about the noise. Okay, maybe you can see now. I'm just putting the edge of the FoodSaver bag only where it seals. I don't have to put it in the tray. And I'm just going to hit the seal button because we're just sealing right now. We're not vacuum sealing. I hope it doesn't smash my muffins down because I've been sitting here talking and I had to prepare. I should have got them out last, but we'll see. So when the light goes off over the seal, when the light goes off, it's completely sealed and ready to go. So you just lift the lever, take your bag, and drop in your muffins. Now you want to make sure you can put them in where you can read what they are. So just do like that. My sister, she's probably going to watch this video and she's going to laugh because she's going to remember that I took these home on the airplane. Well, because I didn't want to go to waste. So now we have little packaged blueberry muffins. Do I have them all? Okay. And we're just going to place the lip of the bag now in the tray over the sealing strip, and we're going to hit vacuum seal. But if I see that they've thawed out a little bit and they're starting to get smushed, you can hit seal on your FoodSaver to make it seal on its own rather than wait, or make it seal on your, you know what I'm saying. You can make it seal rather than wait for it to do it itself. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to watch them to see if they're starting to get smashed. I'm going to hit seal just because I don't want them to get all, yucky, gross, smashed. Oh, they didn't. That turned out perfect. Now see the light over seal? Oh, it just went off. So now I know that they're perfectly sealed and they're preserved and they're happy, and you can take them camping. I'm going to put them back in the freezer though, just to make sure that they stay good. But these muffins are so good at the hotel. So I just wanted to show you that. Oh, and also, these are some peppers that I had left over from the other night. I don't know if you can see peppers. I froze them first, obviously, but that's orange, red, and yellow, and they're really expensive right now. And you don't have to, you could shake off the frost, but there's not very much frost in there. I'm just going to put the lip of the bag, because I'd already used some, so this is I'm just resealing it. Vacuum seal. It's so great because you're going to have peppers 3 months from now for, fajitas. They're not going to be crisp. You're not going to want them for a salad. I'll just tell you that right now. They're going to be soggy, but see the lights? Bada boom, bada bing, bing, bing. Okay, peppers. I don't have to mark it because it's very clear that those are peppers. Awesome. Everything. Oh, I shouldn't do that because it's probably trademarked. Oh, okay, so this is a fun thing. I guess you've probably seen a million of my videos, so you know I always say this is fun. But these cookies, they have a cherry hidden in the middle. So that's frosting, there's a chocolate cookie, and then a cherry in the middle. I use fresh cherries. I just pit them when the Washington cherries are in the grocery store. I just pit them with a straw, and then I put them in the middle, and then you put the chocolate frosting on top. And then these are from Christmas, and it's June, but they're going to be delicious when I thaw them out because they're, you know, all FoodSavered up, all nice and pretty, and they won't taste freezer burned or nothing. I gotta come over here because I'm like running out of all kinds of space here. I gotta make sure there's nothing else I need to actually FoodSaver though, because it's gonna thaw out in this weather. I think I'm good. That one's done. I'm gonna show you my avocado because I think I wanna. And I'm going to give y'all a tip, and this is seriously, this nobody would ever tell you this probably, but avocado, look at that, yay! It's been in the freezer I think for about a month and a half. Still bright green, everything. I leave the pit in. I don't know if that helps. It's just something I found. But if you drop, this is something you need to know. If you have something like this or like this, and you're rummaging through your freezer, and you drop something that is FoodSavered, sometimes it'll bust the seal, and like it did on my avocado. I don't know why. There's not like a hole. It doesn't break the package, but it's just enough. If it drops from high enough onto the ground, it'll break the seal. So you want to be sure and watch your stuff and be very careful when you're handling it, because we have a side-by-side freezer in the garage, and that is hard to maneuver when you have a bunch of stuff stacked in there. The freezer in our house right here it's a drawer that just pulls out. But so this was in the garage freezer, and I'm sure it fell out when my husband or my kids were looking for like Otter Pops or, you know, pot roast or something. So I'm gonna FoodSaver this one just so that it keeps its keeps its seal, and the air doesn't get to it. It's funny because I remember watching, I think it was Martha Stewart, and she was trying to tell people how to preserve their avocados. She's like, just put lime on it. Well, yeah, that's a good idea, but what? Just use a FoodSaver, and then I don't know. They're gonna be mushy anyway, so So put it in the tray. Back in the seal. You can't see. To go off. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking when they hear it be done there, see? And release, take it out. All the air is gone from my avocado. And now I can make guacamole. I don't know, the last time I thawed one out, it was still pretty firm because I put them in the freezer when they're still pretty firm. And I think you could probably get away with putting it on a salad or a sandwich, but that is like my most, most amazing trick ever with the FoodSaver. I'm so proud of it, I can't even stand myself. Well, really, I can. But, here's another good one. Pizza dough. Pizza dough. You can do so much with pizza dough. You know, the little pretzel bites, Italian donuts. That's a really good one on Everyday Italian from Giada De Laurentiis. I love her program. Or pizza. But pizza dough is just a wonderful thing to FoodSaver, because sometimes you make a lot and then you don't use it all, you know, when you're making whatever you're making. Okay, so we're still doing leftovers. Oh, leftovers. Okay, here's one. Chicken taquitos. I did a whole episode on chicken taquitos, so you guys know the recipe. But see how pretty, I mean, they just FoodSaver nice. Yeah, you freeze them first and then you just put them in there. And then you put them in the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, once again, it's no big deal. Put them in the microwave, put them in the toaster oven, you know, whatever you want to do. Okay, so hamburger meat is very expensive right now. So if you find a good deal on it, don't worry about it going back. Just FoodSaver it. What do you do before you FoodSaver meat? What do you do to it? What? You don't take it for a walk. You freeze it. And then you FoodSaver it. It's lovely. Lovely. So we were talking about guacamole and avocados a minute ago. My guacamole that I made, as you notice, it's not brown. There's no brown in my guacamole whatsoever. There's not very much, but I just roll it up. There's not very much, but guac, and my son loves it with his taquitos. Hello. You want to stretch your dollar? Yeah, you sure do, especially today. I like to make bieroks. They're a fun little, once again, you just use your pie crust. It's not bread dough or anything, it's just pie crust. You use pie crust. It's so easy to make. It's like salt, water, flour, baking soda. I think that's it. I don't know. But, I mean, and then I just put browned ground beef and cabbage, onion, and then whatever spices you want to put in there. I spice mine up because we like spicy things, but so you have yummy bieroks. I don't know if you can see the picture. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, so when you thaw those out, I don't have to label it because nothing else looks like my bieroks. But as you can see, they're already cooked. They're not burnt. They look burnt in the thing, but they're not. They're not burnt. But you just thaw them out and then microwave, toaster oven, whatever. I suggest wrapping them in aluminum foil first so that they steam on the inside. But they're really good with HP sauce. If you've ever had HP sauce, it's like an A1 sauce, but it's British, and it's delicious. So a British sauce with a German treat. Come on, you can't go wrong. Okay, and then everybody's familiar with a whole ham. And if you don't have 8 people over for dinner eating your whole ham, you're gonna have ham left over. The spiral ham especially, because you get all up in there and get it all. So we've got a whole, well, that's about 1, 2, 3, that's 4 pieces. I don't know if you can see that. Look how big they are. Look at the size of my hands. My hands are not small. Yeah, that's like, I have big hands. So whatever you want to do with the ham, you can put it in, what did I make the other day? I used chopped ham. Oh, beans. It goes really good with beans and ham hocks. You can buy for like $2 at the butcher. And then I actually FoodSavered the other ham hock that I didn't use. So I'll just put that over there. Everybody learned how to make bread over the pandemic or through the pandemic. So if you did, and you're still making bread, you can make bread bowls for your homemade soup that you made. These are already cooked, but you know, I made bread bowls. I didn't use sourdough. These are just regular. I used my Italian French bread recipe for my for my bread bowls. But anyway, see how they're little bread bowl. Yay! Just FoodSaver them. These are about. So we're in June. These are from November of last year. Thaw them out, warm them up however you want to warm them up, and then cut the tops off, clean them out, put your soup in there. You just saved a lot of money. Italian meatloaf is just a favorite in my house. My family loves Italian meatloaf. And once again, it's a whole loaf of meat, so it doesn't all get eaten. So just label it, and then you've got, you know, leftovers. Maybe enough for a couple sandwiches. But if you're, you know, somebody that you're always cooking for is going to be late home from work or whatever, just get that out, and it's just enough for a few people. And so, oh, here's another leftover. We did chicken and steak kebabs on the grill a couple months ago. And they were delicious. Let's see what we had on them. Mushrooms, red pepper, green pepper, potatoes, chicken, and steak. It made a lot. And the recipe, well, my recipe, but I mean, it probably was only one steak and one breast of chicken, but you know, you cut it up in little cubes and put it on the skewer. So you can just thaw that out. You don't have to re-skew it, like put it back on a skewer, just put it on your plate and everything would be good. Warm it up, you know. Okay. So, turnips, carrots, and potatoes. This was excellent when I made, was it lamb stew? It was. I saw the recipe on Barefoot Contessa. So, but I had so many leftover vegetables. You know, there was just way too much for the pot. So you just label what's in there, see? And then now I have enough vegetables for another batch of stew. Or stew, it's actually stew, lamb stew. But that's always good, you know, to have that. Vegetables, cauliflower. Get a whole head of cauliflower. Don't spend the money on the cauliflower that's already cleaned and chopped. And then, because you only need it for one time. If you get the whole head of cauliflower, clean it up, and then you can put it into 2 or 3 different bags. Freeze it first, and then FoodSaver it. It's not going to be crisp like cauliflower, like if it's fresh, obviously. But I'm sure if you've eaten frozen cauliflower, you already know what the texture is going to be like. And it's also good for soups and stews and sides and, you know, even roasting. I roasted some FoodSaver frozen cauliflower in the oven the other day with some Italian seasoning. Delicious. Came out awesome. I think I already showed you guys the chicken, because you can buy, chicken's been on sale lately, like really great prices. So just buy a whole bunch of chicken, and then however many you know that your family's going to eat in one sitting, just FoodSaver it like that. Sometimes I FoodSaver it with Italian dressing inside the bag, or whatever marinade you want. Freeze it first and then FoodSaver it, and then when you thaw it out, it's already marinating in the dressing of your choice. So that's always a good thing. I've got a lot of stuff. I'm so sorry it's so long. Oh, God, if I even get to the steaks. Oh, yeah, fajitas. Okay, so my husband, oh my gosh, he is a huge fajita fan. Loves his fajitas. Well, I always make too much. So this is fajitas with steak. And I just, I cooked the steak on stovetop, and then I sliced it up. And then the vegetables, I probably already had the vegetables in the freezer, FoodSavered. So, but there's a meal right there, because we didn't eat them all. But my husband doesn't eat leftovers like 2 or 3 nights in a row. So I FoodSaver everything, and then I'll just thaw this out. And we always have tortillas on hand, but you don't even need a tortilla if you're going carb free. You could just warm this up and then put a little sour cream on the side, maybe a dollop of your guacamole that you have in the freezer that's FoodSaver. So there you go. There's that. And oh, I'm almost done. This is good because I know it's probably really long. Salisbury steak mix. Oh, I love Salisbury steak. And this recipe I just Googled and found it online. So you can do, you know, your own take on Salisbury steak. But once again, it was too much for all the pieces, you know, because I only needed like 6 little steaks to go with the mashed potatoes and the corn on the cob. So I just FoodSavered that and was like, yeah, you know, now I got Salisbury steak mix for next time. So vanilla cake, shortcake. My daughter loves strawberry shortcake. But we just make our own vanilla cake. Once again, recipes on Google, online. You can find recipes anywhere. But if you it's all wrinkly, it looks like, but that goes away when you thaw it out. But see how it held its shape. So it's not all smashed down. I froze it first and then I FoodSavered it. So maybe about 4th of July time, I'll bust this out and I'll put some fresh strawberries on there. Or I have frozen strawberries in the freezer already. Sorry, my allergies are just not my friend, as you have seen from other videos. But I have frozen strawberries already in the freezer that they're already cleaned and cut, and when we don't use them all, I use them for smoothies, so I'll just cut the top off, take out what I want, and then reseal it with the FoodSaver. But so now I've already got strawberries in the fridge for my strawberry short. I mean, in the freezer. They're already FoodSaver. Whew. Seriously, I mean, I just talk so much. Okay. Oh, is that going to be? I hope that's not going to be on the screen. Oh, I hope not. I'm really sorry if it is. I totally just messed up if that happens. All that stuff on the screen, I hit my mouse. I'm not redoing the video, so y'all are just going to have to watch it if it's on there. You know, not going to happen. Split pea soup. My son, I got him a cookbook 2 Christmases ago because he wants to learn how to cook. My daughter's the baker, my son's the cooker. No, my daughter's the baker, my son's the maker. Okay, see? Split pea soup. I think I already showed y'all this one. It's easy. You know, just make whatever you want. But it's kind of neat because y'all are probably going, well, then how is it flat frozen? Because it's a soup. So how did I lay it down without it running out? Split pea soup. I mean, it's pretty thick already. So, and you could see that some of it actually did try to escape. Look, you could see right. I don't know which side's the shiny side. Oh yeah, that's the shiny side. So you can see that some of it tried to escape. But I just folded it over gently. You know, I was actually, you know, very careful like this. And then I walked over to the freezer and I made sure that there was a spot that was flat for me to lay it. And then once it was frozen, I came back and revisited it and froze it. And, you know, foods. Yeah, you know. I'm gonna refreeze these steaks because I don't care for the double-sided FoodSaver bag. I'm just being honest. I just don't care for it. And as you can see, there's air getting to my husband's ribeyes, and he's not gonna like that. So I had to use this tray to bring in all my stuff from the freezer in the garage. We'll just put that right there. Okay, so I'm gonna refreeze those, and then I'll show y'all the cheese, and then we'll be done. That's all. I'm not doing recipes today, but like I said, I saw that on the news this morning, and I'm like, they didn't even mention the FoodSaver once. You have to mention the FoodSaver. Okay, so you want to measure your steaks. You know, those are pretty wide, height-wise, so you got to take into account when you go to seal it. So I'm going to do that. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to go all the way down. I'm going to go to right here for those 2 steaks. As you can see, they're kind of thick, and they're stacked on top of each other. And since they're froze on top of each other, I'm not going to try to break them apart. So I'm just going to do that. And then I always keep my FoodSaver bags right here because my FoodSaver is always right here. So I just keep them. Everything's handy. If you cut too much or not enough, you can always reuse bags. Here's one that, I don't know, it probably got cut for something and then it wasn't big enough. So to seal your bag, you're just going to take, like I said, oh, there's a little extra piece. I'll just get it out there. Take the lip. Oh, it's the foods. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have an avalanche on my hands here. Okie dokie. Let's just get that in there. Okay. So you're just going to put the bag on the very edge of the band or the bar where it only seals. You're going to lock it. Just hit the seal button. But you're going to wait for that seal light to go off. Oh, look how shiny my FoodSaver is. I cleaned it up just for y'all. Okay, so there, see the light went off. Open it up. You have a perfect seal. Then you're going to open up the bag that you don't like because it didn't hold the seal very well. And I don't know where my husband found these bags. I have no idea, but they're not my friend. So take them out. Now see, they're just all stuck together. You know, that's fine. No big deal. Those are some, look how fat those are. You don't want those going bad while they're in the freezer, do you? No, you sure don't. You're spending good money on meat. You know, you gotta take care of it. Put it in your bag. And the open part of your bag you're going to put in the tray, just like so. Close the lid, lock it, flip it up to the word operate, and vacuum seal, because they're already frozen, so I can do that. It's not as loud as my original one too. I like that. Alright, so now it's sealing. Just letting you know. Sometimes too, I'm going to give you a pointer. There, it's ready to open. Now I know they'll be protected until we're ready to eat them. Love that, that's perfect. So I'm going to give you a pointer about meat with bones in it. This goes for any meat with bones. Chicken, pork, steak, lamb, even fish. Sometimes the bones, especially on beef, I have found, and pork and beef, the bones can be real pointy and sharp on certain cuts of meat, and that will puncture. I mean, it's pretty thick plastic, but sometimes they can be so pointy. I have found like T-bones, the T-bone cut of the steak. Those you want to take the styrofoam corners, because it's, you buy it on styrofoam. So just cut the styrofoam corners off of the tray that the steak was on. Put it over the corners, the sharp pieces of the bone on the meat, and then FoodSaver it after it's frozen, obviously. But that will save your FoodSaver bag and your meat, because the styrofoam will then just wrap around obviously the sharp parts of the bone, and that's an awesome tip right there. I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, because I figured all this stuff out myself, so I'm just passing it on to you, because this is stretching your dollar 101. And seriously, people, I can't stress enough. I just wish I could get it out there more on a wide scale, I don't want to be famous for this. I just want people to save their food and their dollars. And if you get laid off 6 months from now, you're going to have meals for your family. You don't have to stress about that, at least. You just have to invest one time. I don't know how much they are. You can look that up. I don't have a fancy one. It doesn't have bells and whistles. It's the cheapest one there was. I told my kids, they wanted to get me one for Christmas, and I told them, I don't want one that already has the paper in it, loaded in it, and then you push a button and it rolls out. Plastic, whatever. I don't want that. See, in this little tray, this comes out for after you're done, like especially with chicken. You want to clean that out and get the juice out. But that's all it does. It's a FoodSaver. It does have the hose attachment, but I never use the container with the hose. I don't know, it's for something, but I never use that, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to spend a lot of money, like I think $99 or something like that, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to save money. I'm just telling you that right now. Ooh, look at that fly. Welcome to summertime. Blue cheese. Yay. It's already crumbled, because I like to put it on a baguette with some sugar peppers. I had to do like that because my son wants to come down. And capers, so that's really good. So you use the crumbled blue cheese. Velveeta cheese, that's always fun. And Parmesan, you never use a whole wedge of Parmesan, so you can FoodSaver that every time you're done. Just make it a really long bag so you can keep trimming it. And let's see, what's this? Jarlsberg. We know that that's not very cheap. Just hold on a second, please. Jarlsberg, it's already sliced and ready to go. Just FoodSaver that. Make it a big bag so that if you're not going to use it all, you can put it in there. And then we got white cheddar, a little chunk of Velveeta. Sometimes you can just get creative and just, you don't want to use separate bags for everything, so just do that. There's one other thing I wanted to tell you, though. I'm going to grab it. And my bananas. So, okay, yeah. So like I said, I grow my own herbs and vegetables just because I can. I mean, why not, And I get, tons and tons. Well, they're just flooding all over. My tomato plants just go crazy because North Texas is perfect for growing tomatoes. These fingerling yellow ones though, these are amazing. I've never had these before, but if you have, like if you can get the seeds or the plant, you know, they're really good. They're smoky. At the very beginning of the bite, they're smoky. Get all that out of the way. Oh, see, I hope I didn't mess it up. But yeah, so you have all these tomatoes and you're like, and this is pretty much like every 2 days I get this many. I get a ton. What you do is you put them, I'm going to do it right now, but I'll do it while I'm talking. I did have a subscriber be like, would you quit just telling us what to do and show us? And I felt bad because she had a point. I mean, I'm always like, oh yeah, you can just do this, and I go show people. Okay, so just made a bag. I hope that's enough. See, this is what I said. That may not be a big enough bag for everything, but we'll see. So I'm going to seal it at the ends. And what I'm going to do with these, since you all know I'm going to freeze them, obviously. I'm not going to food save them right now because they'll smash up and become sauce. Although there's nothing wrong with that either. Because if you're going to make marinara or salsa, it doesn't matter. So you can food save them and smash them up. Then you don't have to smash them. So I'm going to put them in the bag. They've all been washed, but I don't use chemicals in my garden anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we're just going to put all the tomatoes. Oh yeah, they're going to fit just fine. You think I've been doing this for a while? No, only 20 years. I had like the original, I still have it, the original FoodSaver. VAC 1075. And it still works. It's just super loud, and it doesn't have just a seal button, I don't think. I think you have to use the vacuum seal button to seal and to vacuum seal. So all my tomatoes are just all happy in there. I'm going to put these in the freezer, and once they're frozen, I'll food saver them. Because I'm just going to use them for roasted vegetables, marinara, or salsa, because I'm going to have this many in a couple days again, because I think I have, I'm pointing outside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have about 15 tomato plants, all different varieties. So I'm going to freeze those. And then now here's one more trick I'm going to show everybody. But I couldn't get the bananas out until I was ready to do this. So we're going to put this one away, and we're going to go back to the gallon size because you can get 2 different sizes. You can also get pre-made bags, which is fine. Sometimes the box that I get comes with 3 of these. 3 of these, 2 of these, and then maybe 25 pre-made of these size. Yeah. And so I'm not anti pre-made bags. It's just that sometimes this is a little bit more convenient. So we're going to do this together. So just be patient with me for 1 second. I'm going to come over. I can't hit pause because it won't move. So I'm going to get my bananas that were getting kind of funky out of my freezer. Is that fly trying to steal the show? It's my show here. So these bananas, as you can see, I put them in the freezer this morning. They were hanging on my little thing, but they're questionable, and it's the perfect amount for my banana muffins or banana bread or a smoothie. It goes. But I thought, you know what? Maybe if I freeze them and food saver them, they won't turn black, and they'll actually stay. I'm going to cut this off though. Maybe. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, so I cut those off so that they're not pokey, and they're not going to poke through the food saver bag. But we're going to all do this together because this is my first time food saving frozen bananas, and we're going to see if they smash down or not. So I'm going to cut a bag big enough for them, and I'm going to use them all when I make my bread or muffins. So I don't need to make it long enough to take 1 or 2 out. I don't need to do that. So we're just gonna seal it up like so. Oh, it's a really long video. I'm sorry. There's just, there was so much I wanted to show everybody. But now I gotta put all this stuff. Look at this big pile of mess. Okay. All right, they're sealed. So here we go. Let's give it a shot. Well, they're not completely frozen. I can feel that right now. But let's just stack them in there. A couple of them are. But like I said, I can always hit seal instead of waiting for it to seal on its own. So we're gonna do peel it off because it might help keep them a little bit fresher. Not fresher, but not turn black in the freezer. But I think if you take away the oxygen, if you take away the air, it might work. Here we go. I didn't have to hit seal and they didn't smash up. This is a game changer. Game changer. Oh my gosh. I love my FoodSaver. Oh my gosh. Check that out, y'all. Boom. Really? I know I'm a little bit nerdy because this like really makes me really excited. But seriously, that's gonna keep them all good until I'm ready to make bread. There you go, Hoda. FoodSaver your bananas, mama. That's awesome. She said something about doing something with banana. So, this is going to be your new best friend. If you seriously need to watch a budget and just feeding yourself, it's a game changer. It really is, and not enough people know about it. But I've done this before, so I already know this is going to work. It's going to work for, like I said, you can put these in on a cookie sheet with like your zucchini, because I have all vegetables frozen. You can freeze just about any vegetable. The only one I found that doesn't really bounce back very well is asparagus, because I don't know why. And potatoes, I'm not a fan. If it's already cooked potatoes, like mashed potatoes, I did a segment on that, but I know that these do. And when you thaw them out, you just put them on the cookie sheet, roast them, because you're going to roast them anyway. They're going to get soft anyway. Or like I said, salsa or marinara sauce. Wow. That was a really long video. And I'm sorry if I messed up with putting stuff on the screen in the middle of that. Hopefully it's not there. But I think I covered everything. Oh, that kind of exhausted me a little bit. So yeah, now you've got an hour of FoodSaver video, which nobody really wants to watch, but you can fast forward through it, or you can just enjoy the whole thing and sit and watch it when you're, making dinner and you have time when you're standing in the kitchen making dinner. I don't know, but that's cool. I really appreciate y'all watching and learning, because that's what I'm really here for. I want to help people, save your money and save your food. So if I just help one person, done my job. All right, y'all. Well, let's see. I'm going to find my button here, and till next time, take care.